Good afternoon. My name is Eric Hawkins. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to view this little presentation today. Before I get started and talking to you about behaviors in selling, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My background, I've been in the car business almost 13 years. The majority of that was with CarMax, also known as the Auto Superstore. But I was a sales manager for them for those 11 and a half years, and got a lot of knowledge about how to mentor sales consultants, how to motivate sales consultants, how to help them become more effective. And then I got the opportunity to become the corporate sales trainer for the Martin Management Group. Martin Management Group owns about 14 different dealerships throughout the United States, all the way from California to West Virginia, Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky. We have many automobile dealerships as well as motorcycle dealerships, Harley-Davidson, BMW. We also have Victory motorcycles, but got the opportunity to become a corporate trainer with them. And my challenge was, how do I take what I've learned at CarMax and put it together with what we'll be doing at the Martin Management Group? What I saw as the biggest opportunity is associate development. You know, it's so easy to go out and just hire salespeople, but hiring the right salesperson definitely was an opportunity. You know, at CarMax it took basically 3 hours to get someone from start to finish. We had 2 sales managers do the initial interview, do the second interview, then we even had the sales consultants do a pretend sell on a vehicle. But when we got through with that process, we felt pretty confident that this person is someone that we felt could be effective in what we're about to teach them, because we're going to invest a lot of time and money. So when I came over to the Martin Group, basically it seemed sometimes that we didn't spend a lot of time hiring. If we got someone to say yes, okay, let's send in the corporate trainer, we'll train them. Of course, I was there for 5 days, teaching them as much as I could during that 5 days, but what I saw as our biggest opportunity was there was very limited follow-up. Our sales managers at CarMax was very focused on associate development, but what I found at the Martin Group, not so much. They didn't realize the importance of associate development. So my job was to try to help them understand and realize, how do we take that new person that we just hired, that we're going to invest a lot of time and money into, and help them become more effective. You know, we can always look at certain things like, well, are they doing test drives, or are they doing TOs, or are they engaging customers? We can look at that pretty easily. But when the consultant is unable to go to the next step, we may not realize what stopped them from going to the next step. So looking at their behavior and being able to identify why they didn't do certain parts of the process, or didn't do the test drive, or didn't engage the customer like we thought that they should, or didn't follow back up with the customer. There's behaviors that drive all of that. So if we can identify what those behaviors are with each sales consultant, it's going to help us as managers being able to create action plans, or identify their strengths, or identify where their opportunities are, and then work on individual development plans to help them become more effective. So that's what I saw as my biggest challenge with the Martin Management Group, is getting sales managers and, first of all, operations directors to buy into that. And I would say overall, some were very willing to buy into it. They saw the benefits of working with salespeople and helping them develop and get better. And those locations are doing, I would say, much better. There's less turnover than the ones that I could never get their buy-in. So when we start looking at these different sales consultants, we identify these behaviors. If we can identify what drives that person to do these certain things or not do these things, and give them that feedback, well, then that's going to help us help them much more effectively. So we call this the behaviors in selling. There's basically 7. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm just going to talk to you about a couple of those today. But the first one I want to mention to you and kind of discuss a little bit is confidence. We have to have our salespeople to be able to put our customers at ease. We want the customer to feel like that they came to the right dealership and that they're working with the right customer or the right consultant. If we can do that and make that consultant more effective with that customer, then our close rates go up. If our close rates go up, we sell more cars. One of the biggest opportunities that I see in the car business, and it's one of the things that at Martin Management Group we had, was very little traffic. So it's so important for us to be able to take every customer and work them to the end. You would think that would just be an automatic, but what we found a lot of times was, especially with confidence as a behavior, one of the things we talk about with the behaviors is there's also derailers. And one of the main derailers to confidence is prejudging the situation. And what I mean by that is, if you've been in the car business 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, you have a tendency as a salesperson to prejudge this customer. Because maybe you dealt with a customer very similar to that before. And if you did, you feel like, well, I know what's going to happen here. This isn't going anywhere. The guy has bad credit, or he's too far upside down in his car. There's just nothing we can do. So we give up. So what happens when we give up? Well, the customer's still got to buy a car, so they're going to go somewhere, but they're just not going to buy it from us because our sales consultant gave up too quick. So one of the biggest challenges is, let's not have our salespeople, or sales managers for that matter, prejudge the situations. So again, they have to have confidence in their abilities to take that customer from A to B. B is not necessarily selling them a car, it's getting to the next step of the process. The next behavior I want to talk to you about is communication. And we think of communication as being verbal communication. Well, of course we know there's nonverbal communication, body language. Do we have active listening skills is another part of that. When we have the customer giving responses to us about the questions that we asked, well, are we really listening to what the customer has to say? And if we're not really sure what they mean, are we clarifying with the customer just so that we understand completely what they're trying to accomplish? And if we do those things, it's going to help us become more effective with the customer. It's going to help us understand what they're trying to accomplish, but then it gives us the opportunity to make recommendations to the customer that's going to be beneficial to them. And if we can do that, we can then hopefully help that customer accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. The last behavior I want to talk to you about is connecting with the customer. We also know it as building rapport. To me, this is one of the most important behaviors that salespeople have a tendency of not demonstrating. Salespeople are trained that, hey, you need to ask questions, you need to qualify the customer, and you need to find out if there's a car deal. Okay, that's all well and good, and we understand that. But we also need to build relationships with these customers, because we don't want to just sell them one car. We want to sell not only them a car, but their spouse, their best friends, the people they go to church with. We want to sell everybody that they know a car. So if we take this customer, we build this relationship, we find some common ground with this customer, it's going to help us be more effective, it's going to put them at ease, it's going to make them feel and trust you a whole lot more than they would if you do something different. We just don't know what they just dealt with down the street at another dealership. So we need to help them relax. We need to help them trust us, to want to do business with us. So again, that's just, to me, one of the most important behaviors that there is that we don't do a very good job of, and that is building that relationship, finding that common ground, missing that opportunity to acknowledge their children or their favorite sports team. Even though you may not even like sports, the customer does, and that's what's most important. So you can ask them questions about their children, or you can ask them questions about their favorite sports team, and they'll tell you. So listen, be interested, connect with the customer so that they want to continue to work with you. So again, those are just a couple, actually 3 behaviors that I wanted to talk to you about today. I appreciate your time listening to these. If you have any other questions regarding these, I'll be glad to explain those. Again, my name's Eric Hawkins. Thank you for your time. Good day.